Saunders, member of the Dubbo Electorate, Dubbo Regional Council, and the New South Wales State Government COVID-19 Community Connection and Wellbeing Program for the funding that has allowed us to start the Sing Out Choir, the first of its kind west of the Blue Mountains. Thank you to the Dubbo Regional Theatre staff for assisting us with marketing, tickets and their technical expertise in relation to today's concert. We also appreciate the support of the Dubbo Photo News, the Daily Liberal, Prime Television, ABC Western Plains Network and iTunes. Thank you to Macquarie Rotary, who are providing refreshments for today's event. Please avail yourselves of these in the foyer during the event. Music has many benefits in the setting of those living with dementia. It can help reduce anxiety and depression, reduce agitation, improve behavioural issues, help maintain speech and language, enhances quality of life, and has a positive impact on carers. And this is borne out by the feedback we have had from our members and carers over the past 9 months. After surveying our members recently, some of the responses include: Tuesdays are the best day of the week, I just love it. There's a feeling of acceptance and understanding from everyone in the group. The benefits are enormous, and I really can't explain how huge it is. This is the best day of my week, and it makes me feel good and very happy, and I've made new friends. Choir makes me happy. This is the only outing that is available to me and where I am at in my life. I could be devastated if this fantastic choir disappeared. It makes me laugh and connect to others. Sing Out Choir makes me feel good, and I now participate outside of Sing Out with other people that I have met from choir. The Sing Out Choir is conducted each week by Camilla Ward and accompanied by Sharon Simons. I couldn't believe my luck when I was able to secure these two ladies to support me in my dream of starting a dementia choir. Our Tuesday sessions are in a sing-along style, and our concert will reflect that. In fact, we will be inviting you to sing along as the afternoon progresses, so please join in. During the concert, Laura Holland will continue her artwork, which you may have viewed in the foyer. We hope that you have purchased your raffle tickets as, at the conclusion of today's concert, one lucky person in the room will get to take home this beautiful original artwork. We are grateful to Laura Holland for sharing her gift with us. Don't worry, tickets, which are $2 or 3 for $5, will also be available in the foyer during the 20-minute interval. The second half of today's performance will commence with a short address by Dr. Simon Medici. Simon has worked in the healthcare sector in Australia and overseas for 18 years, drawing on his expertise in clinical practice and research, including Director of Care Services, Nightingale Hansard in London, National Lead for the Gold Standard Framework, developing palliative care practices across the UK, and as visiting lecturer at universities across the UK. Simon was instrumental in creating the first care home education centre in the UK as part of his job and doctorate studies, which he completed in 2021. Now Head of Dementia Care at Opal Healthcare Australia, Simon is delivering a dementia strategy to support residents with dementia to live well. Research and education are his passion, and he is committed to empowering families to work together to make a difference to those living with dementia. Simon is here today to speak of his experience around best practice in person-centred and relationship-centred care, and exploring current care challenges and solutions in elder care. Dementia touches so many of us in different ways, and we are grateful to Simon for giving his time to be with us and to share some of his knowledge and research with us. But now it's time to get the show on the road. So please welcome to the stage Camilla Ward, Sharon Simons, and our very own Sing Out Choir.
You are my sunshine. And again, if you know the words, please join us, because we have so much fun sharing what we do. Okay, here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy, my soul's afraid. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I remember held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I come crying, but you're my sunshine, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when stars are red. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Turn the page. I'll always love you and make you happy, and nothing else would come between. Here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Now we would like to share with you our triple threat. This has gone on radio and television. So if you'd like to turn to page 10, we're going to start with Oh You Beautiful Doll, moving on to Ain't She Sweet, and finishing with 5'2", what's that in metric?
157.48.
It is 157.8. know someone who's up on the stage, give them a wave, because we have the relaxed lighting on. And choir members, if you can see any members of your family and friends, or even if you can't, give them a wave. There we go. It's beautiful. Okay, now back to the show. They're very important people now, our choir. Page 13. Sharon is playing beautifully by the light of the silvery moon. Page 13. This is such a beautiful song. We're going to have some dances as well down here. What a wonderful world.
Camera two for a second.
And I'm going to walk over here to my mate Les. Hi Les. Would you like to sing? But he's standing up.
You look really beautiful.
top that, but we're going to try. Page 17, everybody. He's got the whole world in his hands. Now, I'm sure you know this one as well. Look, we've been working on our choreography. It's getting there, but follow along. We would really appreciate the support. Okay, everybody, I'm going to ask if everybody would like to stand up in the choir. If you're able to stand up, please stand up and join us for this song. Yeah. Stand up. in the choir. Oh no, hold your applause, because wait till you hear what she's known in the choir as. Spotify Sharon. work that out when we go on.
Too quick for me.
But there is nothing that this woman cannot play, and it is a joy to hear her play with us every Tuesday. And the joy is Page 20, turning over. It's a sin to tell a lie. Be sure it's true when you say I love you. So, we have page 30, everybody. Hi, Lily. And I'm sure the audience knows this as well. Hi, Lily. Hi, Lily. Hi, hello. Page 30. Let's welcome Dan and give a little dance. Okay, so we're nearly ready for Morningtown Bride, everybody, page 31. A little bit of the Seekers, Sharon. Fantastic I think John's getting excited because our final song for Act 1. Yes, it's an important thing. Oh, we could do another dance, absolutely. That's the way dancers sing it. Okay, so page 35, everybody should know this. And can I ask this? Actually, no books, Sharon. No books and standing up. No books and everybody stand up, please.
Come on, you can do it.
You can do it.
We get a cup of tea in a minute.
There's going to be a cup of tea at the end.
Stand reaching and make cake.
Okay. You don't need the microphone. Okay, we're going to have the call out.
uplifted and happy in their demeanour. So it's very exciting.
Looking for things to do with Dad as a sort of / carer daughter, to interact with him how he was or how he is, I suppose. And it's very hard in aged care because, I don't know, unless you've been there, it's hard to explain. It's just a different journey of life. But this, honestly, it's a gem for anyone out there that needs that sort of connection with someone, a bit of fun for a couple of hours, something to look forward to next week. Unbelievable. There's nothing not to love about the choir. It's an amazing place for that age bracket or that scenario.
Ben, would you like to sing? Because I'm obviously taken at the moment. Just for Ben.
felt somebody walking over my grave then, Sharon. Wasn't that very eerie at the end, that beautiful? It was very ghostly music. Oh, just, that's a lovely one.
The great thing about that.
Here we go, we're going to go from the top. Michael rolled the boat ashore. Hallelujah. Michael rolled the boat ashore. Hallelujah. Sister, sister, help to trim the sail. Hallelujah. Sister, help to trim the sails. Hallelujah. Jordan River, Jordan River is chilly and wide. Hallelujah. Jordan River is chilly and wide. Hallelujah. Michael, Michael, row the boat ashore. Hallelujah. Michael, row the boat ashore. Hallelujah. Sister, help to trim the sails. Hallelujah. Sister, help to trim the sails. Hallelujah. Jordan River. Jordan River is chilly and wide. Hallelujah. Jordan River is chilly and wide. Hallelujah. Michael rolled the boat ashore. Hallelujah. Michael rolled the boat ashore.
Thank you, Spike. Thank you, Val. Okay, it's that time of the day. We have finished. Thank you all so much. We look forward to seeing you same time, same place on the account.
Hallelujah.
you.
welcome back. We hope you enjoyed the break. Please welcome back to the stage our Sing Out Choir. But now it gives me great pleasure to introduce to the stage Head of Dementia Care, Opal Healthcare Australia, Dr. Simon Padizzi.
Wow. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's just give a round of applause to our choir. Absolutely amazing. I have to say, if I could at least just sing one note as well as you guys do, I'll be the happiest man under the sun. Trust me, I don't think you want me in your choir even for practice at this stage. All right, so I understand I've got a few minutes just to share some really interesting but also very exciting things around dementia practice, research, and some of the things that other countries are doing in order to support people living with dementia to live well. So I know that there's quite a number of things that everyone is aware of when it comes to, what is dementia. And so I'm not going to go down into detail with that, but I want to focus on the positive aspects of research. I want to focus on the things that are tangible. I want to focus on the things that all of us can do in order to make a difference in our community. So let's just start from the beginning. We know that dementia is an umbrella term that describes a series of conditions that affect the brain, and they often result in what we call brain atrophy. And brain atrophy is when cells in the brain actually start to die off slowly over a period of time. And this results in quite a number of things happening within the brain, structural changes, chemical changes, cellular changes. And over that period of time, you start to see that as the brain is responsible for our whole entire function, certain things start to change. And one of the most common things that we are very much aware of when it comes to dementia is the fact that it often leads to what we call disorientation. And that disorientation comes in three forms. There's disorientation to time, whereby sometimes it's very hard to work out how far and how long is 2 minutes. And so for some people, they might ask for help and wait for just a minute, and to them it feels as if they've been waiting for an hour, which then creates frustration, especially if everyone around them does not realize that time disorientation means that 2 minutes is like 2 hours. It also means that communication becomes challenging, because sometimes somebody will ask for a cup of tea and expect it to be there like 10 minutes ago. And therefore your expectation is, but I've got to make it, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. And sometimes it then affects communication, interaction, relationships. The second aspect of dementia that we know results in an outcome of disorientation is when it comes to person. The right side of our brain, can you touch the right side of your head? Yeah, just make sure, yeah, you feel something there? Good, all right. So the right side of our brain is responsible for a number of things, but one of the most important things that it helps us to do is to do facial recognition. And so for a lot of people, they start to struggle to work out faces. Do I know this person? Have I seen this person before? Is this my wife? Is this my daughter? Is this my son? Is this my grandson? Am I related to this person, or is it a visitor? And over a period of time, what creates a challenge is when everybody around that person doesn't realize that the person can't tell who they are. And yet they expect to have conversations that are meaningful and expecting the person to respond and react as they would. And again, it becomes very important for us to just understand that particular aspect in terms of, when communicating with someone, then it might be at some point when you realize the person is struggling to work out who you are, don't put them under pressure by asking, you must remember who I am. Do you know who I am? You've seen me. I was here last week. I was here the other week before. just try and help the person by just reintroducing yourself. The conversation will go a long way. The relationship will be sustained in a much longer period. And if the person can't actually tell who you are completely, because that will happen, then try and go through reminiscence. So this is about getting photo albums of, when your relationship began, if you are the daughter or the son, when you were born, when you first went to primary school, when you got married, when you had your kids, when you had your grandkids, and talk through those photos, because visual cues can often then help the person to connect meaning to person. The other aspect of dementia, which we know from research, is often one of the main reasons why people become so distressed and cannot cope with being, within the community, or being at home by themselves, or being able to just, do some of the daily functions that sometimes we take for granted, is disorientation to environment. And what that means is that the person can't actually find their way. Things don't look familiar anymore. Sometimes they struggle to actually work out shapes, and so sometimes it might be very difficult to work out whether this is a wardrobe, or this is the door that goes to the kitchen, or this is the door that goes to the bathroom. And therefore people start to get lost. And if you connect the three aspects together, if someone has got disorientation to time, which means 2 minutes may feel like 2 hours, imagine trying to find your coat or your jacket, and you can't work out where the wardrobe is. Imagine trying to access the toilet, and you really need to get to the toilet. You know what I mean when you've driven on the motorway, and you can see the next services are like 60 k's away, and you know you're not going to make it, okay? And the bladder plays up as soon as you drive into the service station. And I'm not going to explain. Don't tell anyone what happens there, but you know what I mean, okay? So imagine if that becomes your daily experience every day. Then living with dementia becomes harder, not because the condition itself is a challenging, difficult one to live with, but actually because we haven't adapted enough of the environment, enough of our approach, and enough of the spaces that the person is living in order to accommodate those structural changes that cause permanent change in the person's ability to cope. So whenever I do workshops, particularly with team members, I often say to them, the challenge about dementia is this: why is it in other parts of the world people can live up to 100, 105, 107 with dementia and not requiring a lot of medication to support them? And in Australia, what are some of the things that we can learn from what other countries have done? And I think everything comes down to those three simple principles. If we can understand time disorientation, not only in what's happening today, but also in the fact that people lose memory, and therefore, particularly with Alzheimer's condition, which tends to progress much slowly and covers about 60% of dementia, particularly in Australia, you will find that people regress in memory to a time where sometimes they get up to the time where they think they're actually 18 years old. And if somebody's orientation has changed, you might find that they will start to ask questions that only relate to that age. Where's my mom? Where's my dad? Where's this? Where's that? And things that are pertaining to their childhood memories. And I think what's important is then understanding as a community and as a village that the best response might not be, you are 90 years old, you are 80 years old, you are 70 years old, mom, your grandma wouldn't be alive, granddad wouldn't be alive, because it's just not practical. But it's then being a little bit compassionate and understanding that the person's reality and their perception is what it is at that time. So if the person is 18, try and find out, when they were 18, what were their best memories? What did they do for fun? What did they enjoy? And what was their life like? What were some of their routines? Because what you will find is that sometimes helping someone to go to bed at 8 o'clock, when they actually think that they're 18. I don't know how many 18-year-olds are in this room, but I can almost guarantee you most of them don't go to bed before the next morrow. Okay? Now, parents, you might not know that, but just check what happens in the bedroom when the door is shut. Okay? Gadgets. All right? But anyway, no, I'm not saying go and check on what kids are doing. But what I'm saying to you is, let's focus here, right? So what I'm saying to you is, it becomes important for us as a community and as a village to understand the people who are living with dementia amongst our family, amongst our circles, amongst our friends. Where's their orientation taking them to? How much do we know about their background? How much can we adapt our language, our approach, and the environment in order for things to be familiar, in order for routines to be familiar, in order for bedtime to be familiar? Because this orientation to time can also lead to not knowing the difference between nighttime, 8 o'clock, and 8 o'clock in the morning. And therefore, if 2 minutes is like 2 hours, somebody actually asking someone to have dinner at 5 o'clock and then at 8 o'clock saying, right, it's time for bed, the person might actually think that is the next day. And therefore, I need to get up, I need to do work, I need to go and do things. So again, just thinking about how do we foster and how do we create routines within our community that can help people to have familiarity to time, environment, and place is very, very important. So why am I saying that? Because we know when we look at some of the countries that seem to be very much ahead when it comes to dementia care, their population lives very well in their homes, living with dementia, and are supported without the challenges of what might be perceived as aggressive behavior, shouting, hitting, or wanting to leave home and getting lost and all those things. And the reason why that's happened is because most of the assessments are centered around creating a well-being care plan. And what is a well-being care plan? Well-being is defined by the fact that any one of us can be in a state of comfort from a physical, social, and mental perspective. That means it is not the absence of disease or disability that can create that comfort. It is when people around are able to adapt everything that supports the person to be in a good mental state, in a good social state, and in a good physical state. So if we take the mental state, for example, I know some people would think about, the clinical intervention and so forth. Actually, no, from a community perspective, creating a good mental health is associated with understanding what the world looks like for somebody or from the perspective of somebody living with cognitive impairment. And so if I give an example of somebody who might have Lewy body dementia, which is one of many different types of dementia, we know that hallucination is one of the most common symptoms that people will experience. So when the person is maybe going to bed in the evening and they've got a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful duvet, or in Australia you call it a doner cover, correct? Yeah, correct me if I say the wrong terms. Yeah, duvet cover, and it's got a print of maybe a beautiful plant, a print of possibly sunflower or flowers or things like that. For a person with Lewy body dementia, the visual impression might not look exactly as how things are printed and as how things are drawn on the duvet cover. They might actually see a pattern which can create hallucination of maybe creepy crawlies on the bed or maybe a snake or creatures on the bed. Their perception is their reality. And therefore, sometimes people might not be able to articulate why they are distressed, afraid, scared, but you might find that maybe sometimes grandma, granddad, your mom, your dad, every time when it's bedtime, they're screaming, they're unsettled, they don't want to go into the room, and they can't explain to you why. Again, understanding that different types of dementia will contribute to different symptoms, but most importantly, understanding how the person is seeing their world can help us to then change the environment and adapt the environment so that they can live much better. So there are other examples I can give when somebody has got, let's say, vascular dementia, And vascular dementia is associated with small bleeding in the brain, almost similar to small strokes. And what that does is where there's a bleed, the brain cells die in that area, brain atrophy. And then what you will see is that most commonly, people's ability to articulate speech is affected. So there's something called dysphasia, which then happens. And the interesting thing about dysphasia is that sometimes the person knows exactly what they're saying. For example, can I please have a cup of tea? And the words that come out might be, can I please have a hat? Then you bring a hat, and I don't want a hat, because of course I didn't ask for a hat. Then I ask, can I please have a shoe? You bring some shoes, and I'm thinking, what is wrong with you? You know, why are you not getting it? And what we need to understand is when people are starting to lose their ability to articulate themselves and identify objects, it doesn't actually mean that sometimes the person is entirely confused. Dysphasia would indicate that the person sometimes will know exactly what they're saying in their head, except that they just can't find the right words to say. So as a community, what do? The first thing is identify who amongst us is struggling to identify certain objects, to articulate themselves. And then we start maybe being patient in not asking questions that actually make them think twice about what they're saying, but realizing that actually they might actually know what they're saying, and consider, do we act out what the person is trying to express? Are you asking for shoes? So just cross-checking with the person could be one. The other thing would be, if you see the person is already struggling with words and their dysphasia is progressing, maybe start thinking about pictographs. And pictographs are when you get communication cards with pictures of the most common things that the person is likely to ask for, and make it your issue. Don't say, I don't understand what you're saying, it doesn't make sense. You asked for this and I gave it to you and you refuse it. But actually start to understand that actually the person knows what they're saying, except that maybe, lost in translation. So say, help me to understand a little bit more. I'm not getting it right all the time. So this will help me if you point at what you need, and then that can actually improve the communication. Now, that goes a long way, as we know, in maintaining good relationships. And why are relationships very important when people start to have cognitive impairment? Because as I mentioned before, when people start to lose the ability to connect and identify who their loved ones are, chances are the world starts to shrink bit by bit, and therefore your social connections and your social networks start to reduce, and therefore the only few people that you recognize or that you still connect with, if your relationship is just based on frustration, anger, I didn't ask for this, that's not what you said, that's not what you chose, that's what you told me, no, you're confused, no, then in actual fact what you will find is that the person becomes isolated. And then when they become isolated, then they'll start to become withdrawn from the community bit by bit, and that actually leads to depression. Whilst there might be other factors that can contribute to depression as a result of what happens in the brain, we know that from a social perspective, when everyone around the individual hasn't understood what the person is going through and adapted their language and their communication and engagement, that actually forces the person to withdraw. And then again, you start to see some other side effects associated with depression. So low appetite, low mood, low stimulation. The person doesn't want to go out and become an active member of the family or of the society or the community, which results in muscle wasting, then low mobility, and other things as well. That means the person starts to deteriorate. Now, I know that I was given 15 minutes. There's so much that I really want to share with you, so many exciting things that all of us can do, but I'm just going to very quickly just highlight some of the most obvious things that we know from research can improve well-being. Physical exercise, absolutely amazing. Why? Because if brain atrophy is as a result of brain cells dying, exercise increases heart rate, which increases circulation, which increases oxygenation in the brain, which improves brain cell health. So when we talk about binary cell division, allowing homeostatic sort of function of the cells in the brain, then again, that's one thing that we can do. So again, if you know somebody that is living with dementia in the care community, then you need to ask yourself, what can you do to contribute to physical exercise? Walking, just going and feeding the ducks in the nearby pond, just, visiting, the animal center close by, going to the garden, going to actually order things that the person might need and helping them with shopping goes a long way. Hydration, underestimated. How many of us drink 1.7 liters of fluid in 24 hours minimum? Yeah? How many of us drink 1.7 liters of fluid made up of tea, coffee, and sugars, which actually contribute to dehydration? Don't answer the question. Yeah? So when we talk about hydration, you need to understand that cellular function and cellular health, which actually then leads to brain atrophy, can be either maintained or supported by well hydration. So again, one of the simple things that we can do in our community is, if we've got people who are living with dementia, how do we help them to be able to access enough fluid in the right way? What do I mean in the right way? Sometimes we need to consider also that as the brain function is changing, some people will have what we call monochromatic vision, and this is where they lose the ability to see things in color, and so they see things in black and white. So a glass on a white tablecloth with water can just blend in, and therefore, yes, we've offered hydration, but the person can actually see the glass, which means they don't drink, and we assume that the person doesn't want to drink. And the same goes for good nutrition, by the way, which again, thinking about when people see things in black and white, what we need to understand is just changing our dining experience can go a long way. What do I mean by that? If people see things in black and white as a result of vascular dementia, for example, what it means is that a white tablecloth and a white plate means that when the person is looking in front of them, they can't see the plate. If there's food in the plate, it means that for that individual, the food appears to be sitting on the table. Now, I can guarantee you, if any of us here goes to a restaurant and they say to you, table number 5, but we're sorry we've run out of plates, you wouldn't mind if we put the food on the table and we'll give you 10% discount. How many of you would actually eat? Yeah? You wouldn't. So again, just going back to the point that, perception is the person's reality, we need to be very mindful that all these very simple environmental factors can actually lead to the person's ability to cope and adapt with dementia becoming harder and harder. And yet, those are simple things that we can do. Now, tomorrow, we've got a workshop that's going to go in detail around some of the things I've touched on, and that's going to be at the RSL Center. For those, it's a healthcare professional event for those that have already registered. And for everyone else who might not be able to make it tomorrow, we left some gifts for you on the chairs. Okay, we didn't want you to walk away thinking we didn't give you anything for free. So you've got some flyers that we've left for you. Look at the details, and we are going to be holding a seminar and covering. We'll have an hour and a half, possibly, that we'll be able to talk in detail around what is it like living with dementia, what does science tell us, and what are some of the practical things that we could do. But before I close, I just want to thank the organizers of the event, because it is impressive how Dubbo is leading the way nationally when it comes to integrating and creating that village approach of embracing dementia and making sure that people can live well. And education certainly is one of the tools that can empower us to be able to know how we can make that difference. So thank you very much to the organizers. Thank you very much to you guys for coming and supporting. And choir, love the singing. Love the singing. Looking forward to it.
We are back, choir. Are you ready? We've got the purple books, page 50, Bring Me Sunshine. This time we have a band.
It's wonderful. We have a lot of dancing that goes on at Sea Out, some spontaneous and some not. And every week we're getting more people up and experiencing the lovely music. So, Sharon, what are we going to do next?
Let's go on the road to
Gundagai? Oh, choir, that was you. You were meant to say Gundagai.
It wasn't a trick question.
Practice this. Page 57, but I'm sure you all know the words. Okay, page 57. 1, 2, 3.
going modern now. We're going to the Beatles.
Page 58, All My Loving. It's on the next page. Page 60. I was waiting for you to say something,
When
Sharon,
I'm 64,
about...
are you talking
When I'm 64 is on page 60.
Yeah, I know, for Camilla, for most of us on stage, 64 is past history.
Age
What's
is
this
but a
when
number.
I'm 64 business?
So please sing along if you know the words. Okay, page 60, here we go. straight over the page. 61, Can't Buy Me Love. 1, Can't Buy Me Love. Okay, choir. Page 66. Proud Mary. I think we love this one.
We love this one. Someone said we should dress as Tina Turner.
We said no.
Okay, 66, here we go. Don't forget the da-da-da.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
know this song? It is your song, Les. I still call Australia
like the end of the show, but it's not. Are you up for a few more?
Excellent.
That was good.
Thumbs up. Okay, now the choir don't need their books for this. So those that would be able to stand, we're going to sing My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. Now for those that would like the number, it's 72, but I know you know this. So, would you mind please standing? So all your family and friends, give them a wave. Give a wave, give a clap. Here they are.
Oh, have a seat. I think someone wants to dance again.
Not yet. Page 75. You have to be very strong in this choir. Side by side.
75.
75. Everyone ready? 75.
Enjoying it. That was great. The next one's on page 82, I believe.
It certainly is.
But before, while you're finding that choir, Camilla, did I tell you I was listening to the radio the other night? And it was the late Barry Humphries, and he was talking in 2015 when he was the artistic director of the Adelaide Cabaret Festival, and he was talking about the history of cabaret, and he said, you know, way back in the day, he said there'd just be a piano, people gathered around it, singing Bye Bye Blackbird. He said, you just don't see that today.
Or do you? Don't talk too soon, Mum. Roped in.
Hi, singer.
Pack up all my care and woe. Here I go, singing low. Bye, bye, blackbird. Where somebody waits for me. Sugar sweet, so is he. Bye, bye, blackbird. No one here can love or understand me. Oh, what
concert is full of surprises. Sharon's amazingly talented daughter, Bethany.
Give her another round of applause. But we haven't finished yet. No, we haven't, everybody. You've still on the clock. So, page 95. But I think they should know this, Sharon.
Yes, I do too.
Michael Rowe, The Boat Ashore.
Camilla, I wonder if we can get our whistle on for the introduction.
Oh, yes. Can we get our whistle on? You can help us out. The raffle, and then we'll be finishing up. Now, this has been a song we've been working on so hard. If you do hear comments from the choir, it's just they're so enthused to finally be able to sing The Lion Sleeps Tonight. And listen out for those parts. Please join us. So everybody, could you stand? We're standing for the lion. You don't need your books. Follow me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to invite someone to join me. Richard, let's sing.
Dream. When I grow too old to dream, I'll have you remember. When I grow too old to dream, your kiss will live in my heart. So kiss me, my sweet, and so let us part. And when I grow too old to dream, your kiss will live in my
Okay. Our concert has come to a close. On behalf of everybody, we'd like to thank you all. It's been absolutely amazing, the support. And remember, Tuesdays down at the David Palmer Centre, you can find us. So Anne Gimmel's the lady to talk to. You can chase her up afterwards. But on behalf of everybody, thank you all for your support. And now we're going to say bye-bye.